Toby, how are you?
Pretty good. Happy Friday.
Yeah, did you like
How
our
are-
little countdown screen?
I love it. That
I
was
don't
perfect.
I don't know if Dave made it or if it came with the tool, but I found it about 1 minute before we were going to get going here. So that it worked out nice.
Mm-hmm.
The show begins, Elise, after the countdown. The show begins. All right. So today, welcome to Friday 15. We're going to be talking about kind of like the week in review. It's like last week tonight with John Oliver, but not nearly as good. Not nearly as in depth, and mainly it's links that we've found on the internet. So it's close, right? Do you watch this
Pretty
show, Toby?
much. I watch clips. I used to watch it before, but I don't watch a lot of TV anymore.
What you don't? What are you doing other than that?
We've been through this.
Where are you watching clips at? You watching them on YouTube?
YouTube, yeah. I mostly watch YouTube.
So you don't have HBO?
I do not in the current times, no.
In the current, did you have it in the previous times?
Yeah, I used to have HBO.
What'd
But I don't.
What'd you watch on there?
Game of Thrones was on there. What's the name of this show that was really good? Westworld was on there. They have very good shows.
I know I have it. I'm surprised you don't. Did you? What made you leave HBO?
It wasn't like a choice. I just wanted to like watch less TV, read more, sleep more, do more non-screen stuff.
Mm-hmm. I can respect that. So you didn't get to witness the transition from HBO to HBO Max.
No, I did not.
I still don't understand it. It's purple though, and I do like the purple. The branding's wonderful, but I don't know what's going on in that app. I don't know. It's not logically laid out. I'm just very confused on what's doing there. Why?
There's
why it's
also
needed.
HBO Now.
Well,
HBO Now, HBO.
Yeah, well, they had
HBO
HBO
Max.
Go, HBO Now, HBO Max. Then I think there's just an HBO app. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I have HBO Max now. Somehow my login worked. I'm sure I'm getting charged way more, but it works. It's a lovely purple. I do like that, but I don't know how to find any shows whatsoever. So it's going well. All right, let's jump into some current events, some things that happened this week, and I think we've got to start by talking about the antitrust hearing.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. Anti or antitrust? Anti, right? Antitrust.
I think so. That's
So normally these are things that happen in the EU. We don't normally have those as much here, but like in the EU, they really mean it. Here, we just
do it.
Bring leaders in and scream at them. So I guess it is. I guess it is a little different, but I don't know. Did you have any takeaways? I think the biggest one I had was there was a lot of out of touch Congress folks that weren't 100% sure what the internet was or what tech was. So that was discouraging, but it's interesting. I mean, I think I can understand both sides of the coin here. I can understand, if we look at Apple specifically, I can understand if a developer spent a lot of time and effort and Apple, changes something, comes out with a feature that makes their app irrelevant. Like that's a bummer.
Yeah. But like, for example, like in Apple's case, the example I think I saw in one of the hearings was this screen sharing app, because Apple kind of made it part of their platform and eliminated those competitors. And Apple's argument was it's much safer that way. And the other roundabouts was prone to security breaches if they continue that way. So like, it's kind of like, it's a very complicated thing that a lot of people would say, like, oh, Apple, for example, even the App Store taking 30%, it's a terrible, like people would say it's a terrible thing. But Apple would make the case that like, oh, what about other app stores or other game stores is like the same. So a lot of these things, I feel like we have these hearings and nothing eventually happens. That was, I didn't learn anything new per se. I don't know if you found anything else interesting.
No, I mean, I think it was all very predictable what was going to come up. I think it's interesting when we talk about the the screen time stuff that was, it shifted from a couple different apps in the App Store that did some of that stuff, and it shifted over to an actual core feature of the operating system that Apple developed. We were researching this a little bit earlier this year, actually. And in order to make it happen with the apps in the App Store, you have to use MDM, which is mobile device management. So the concern, certainly from a security standpoint, is that you're giving up control of your device. I mean, MDM can do a lot of different things on your device, and I can understand the security concern there. But the flip is, like, those apps still exist in the App Store. I mean, I don't know if the one in particular they were talking about, but you and I found 2 or 3 in the App Store that were still functioning. So I don't know. It's you may have already said this, but Apple taking a feature, taking an app that's got a great feature and building it themselves has always been called Sherlocked. So a lot of apps have been Sherlocked over the times. At the same time, a lot of apps have been purchased, Siri, Shazam, things like that. So I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't think I'm going to take a side, at least not on a live stream. So, it might exist afterwards.
Yeah, great choice.
You want to talk about Twitch, Toby?
Yes, I did see the Twitch is helping build like a esports league for like HBCUs, so like a gaming platform. They're partnering with I think probably they're called Community, but it's spelled like CX Community. To like kind of have like an esports league, and I think very appropriate for the pandemic. Right now, I think only one HBCU has esports league, and that's I think Morehouse University. And I think this is like it's promising in general, and this like also like a little shout out to like our Detroit's own Delaney, who has a platform called Play VS or Play Versus, and it's a platform also for kind of esports for high school varsity, high school rec, college. And we've seen a lot of like these games like Overwatch, Fortnite, League of Legends kind of have their own NCAA feel. So just the way we have like football season, a lot of people would now be looking forward to like watching Twitch and watching their college on esports. And go blue while we're at it. Go blue.
You mentioned Delane Parnell. He actually talked to us several times in the early starting of Detroit Labs, and I think one of the things that always really resonated with us is his hustle. He had it. He had a lot of spirit when it came to the entrepreneurship side. So it is wonderful to see him doing well with that too.
He's doing great.
One of the things that I think you, Dave, and I were talking about. Twitch in general, and I don't know, maybe you're seeing it also on YouTube gaming, but you're seeing more traditionally underrepresented groups starting to show up in the feed. And we were trying to figure out why. Like, is it a fact that there's more people streaming because more people are gaming and streaming now more than ever? Are algorithms getting tweaked? Are people intentionally searching out for that content? But either way, it's certainly encouraging.
Yeah, either way is progress, and we welcome it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. Google Home Hub gets new games. This certainly was not big news, but because the Home Hub, Home Hub Max is the one I have. I have 2 actually. I've got the Home Hub right here and Home Hub Max out in the kitchen. It gets a decent amount of use here. Toby, I have a love-hate relationship with smart home devices. I love Lutron. Don't like a lot of the other stuff, but the Home Hub Max has gotten a lot of great use around here, particularly because the voice recognition is good with Google Assistant. I think it's the best in the business, personally. I think it's great because what was that? Agreed. Well, it's great because it has the context, right? Like you can say something and it listens for a follow-up and it understands the context of the conversation. I think it's very underrated. But the other really great thing is my 5-year-old loves to talk to it for a couple of reasons. It's quick for him to have it play a song. Number one favorite right now is "Yeah" by Usher. Fun fact, maybe one of the greatest songs ever, but it's his favorite right now. We're solid parents. And the other thing he likes to do is play trivia games on it. So when Nest or the Google Nest Home Hub Max,
other things,
came out with more games, that seems like they were acknowledging how people used it. So it seems like they're paying attention and they're listening. which I thought that was really wonderful. I thought that in general, that's one of the better smart home devices. But that got me to thinking about more voice stuff, right?
I was curious
And
what your thoughts were about like just voice UX in general.
I have strong thoughts, and I'll give you a mild version. I struggle a little bit with voice because if it doesn't work immediately, you might as well get your phone out and use it, right?
Mhm.
I've found that the Google Assistant and especially when it comes to smart home works well for me to walk out of the door and turn my lights off. That's pretty much how I use it. Anything
Mhm.
more than that, and I'm not sure I really trust voice stuff yet. Feels like it's weird to shout out commands, and I've had known issues in my vehicle with trying to play a song with Siri and it going in and out, changing songs. It's a whole to do. Uh, but the interesting thing is, I think there's two other big things when it comes to voice assistants. Walmart is launching their own.
Yep, called Ask Sam. Maybe that's like a play on Sam's Club or something. That's like a brand. And they're starting with like their employees before like rolling it out, I assume, to like the app. Walmart has definitely like tried to like grow in their e-commerce lately. So I can assume this is like an answer for maybe like Alexa to have theirs as they're growing their platform as well.
What do you think? I mean, where do you see them using it? Because I think the Ask Sam certainly comes from Sam's Club. I believe
Mhm.
that's where they started to prototype this with their Sam's Club brand.
Yeah.
And I mean, where do you see them going with this?
I think it would be, this is my guess. I feel like this strategy is very like comparable to Amazon because you have Prime. So on Amazon
Mhm.
Prime is basically Walmart's Sam's Club in a way. And then eventually Walmart assumes that hopefully their e-commerce push goes well. And then their members can just the same way say, Alexa, give me new trash bags. You can do the same for like Sam and just have like comparable products. It seems, I think, off for their business to have their biggest competitor have like voice and e-commerce and all of that, and they not have any. So they've done like partnerships with Shopify, and they're continuing to like get into that e-commerce space and like having a voice UI interaction. This, I think, for them seems like a good, at least if not for anything else, Amazon is doing it, so they want to do it. That's what I think. They hope maybe one day in your house you have like Sam,
It's
just like
interesting.
Alexa.
You've got to be really bought into the Walmart brand. I think one of the with Amazon. I mean, I think one of the biggest things that came out of the antitrust hearing was that 82% of households are subscribers to Prime. And so there's
Yeah,
some level of trust in the brand. Um,
yeah.
right, wrong, or indifferent. There's some level of trust and understanding of the brand, and you're bought into it in some way, shape, or form. And I wonder, can Walmart get that level of trust where they're going to have someone, I don't know, have their device in their house, or even just some level of trust where they're using it on their phone. I'd be curious to
hmm
see the usage data on it. Again, I could be wrong. I think Sam's Club, it was smart to go that route first because I do
Yeah,
think you've got a lot of loyal Sam's Club folks, and
true.
especially Sam's Club versus Costco. I believe they're somewhat
hmm
similar.
I think that the usage during the pandemic has definitely grown very well. I can remember I've read a few articles where even integration with Shopify, and of course grocery is like e-grocery is growing so wild right now. So it's possible that people would even maybe in the future have both Alexa and Walmart at home and just maybe just mentally think, oh, Walmart is for groceries. And even though like Amazon has Whole Foods, maybe that would be their way. Like Walmart could go into people's houses through groceries.
Yeah. Well, on the same side, the same kind of theme here when it comes to voice, Samsung
Mm-hmm.
is prioritizing, sounds like Google Assistant over, is it
Bixby.
Bixby, right? Interesting name. Um, is this something where they're saying, okay, we gave it a go with Bixby, and we're going to rely on? I mean, they're already running Android. Samsung is, of course, it's their version in some way, shape, or form. But are they essentially saying, okay, we had a good run with Bixby, now we're really going to focus on Google Assistant? Why compete against them? It works so well. Like, is it a throw in the towel, or is it a smart move for their consumers?
I think they've given it a good shot, but I think also first of all, they're gonna get a lot of money if they do a deal with Google, just like Google has like a deal with Safari to be like the default thing. They're gonna get a lot of money every time because Samsung, I believe, is either the largest or the second largest Android market share. So from a Google point of view, is you're buying more users for like Google search, and you're getting more customers. And for Samsung, is just getting more money because Bixby on its own has not really created that ecosystem vibe that the other systems have. But I don't think any news is confirmed yet. Things can still change, I assume. But personally, I think if they do that deal, it's good for Google because now most Android phones we have like a similar interface with Google Assistant, and then from a Samsung point of view, they just make more money.
It's interesting. I was watching a show the other day on Netflix, and there was a lot of Samsung product placement, a lot of asking Bixby for things, and it reminded me of many years ago with Parks and Rec. I don't know if you were a fan of Parks and Rec.
Great show. I was rewatching it not too long ago.
Oh, I still watch it at night. I rotate between that and The Office, and and when it's off Netflix, I'm probably just going to go buy both series so that I don't have to sign up for another streaming platform.
Peacock is free, right?
Yeah, but ads.
Oh,
yeah, and then you can. It's like free for a lot of ads, pay for less ads, but probably still a lot of ads, and then pay even more and no ads. I don't need another service. So the Parks and Rec had a couple different episodes where they were pushing the Windows Phone like really hard. I don't know if you remember that. I think it was when Ron tried to get off the grid or something along those lines, and they tried to push the Windows Phone really, really hard. And it just makes me think that that's maybe the kiss of death. So the Bixby being pushed on Netflix, and then the Windows Phone being pushed on Parks and Rec. I think shortly after that, Windows Phone was gone, and it looks like maybe Bixby's going to be gone.
Yeah. Like that's like maybe like a last ditch effort. Like if people are not using it, you just try so hard. And if it's not working, I don't use Samsung, so I can't really like say how good or bad it is. But my gut, like I just feel like Google Assistant is way ahead of it.
Yeah, I think Google Assistant's way ahead of everybody. It'd be hard to change my mind on that one. But that said, I think we're going to wrap it up. Did you have any more current events, any more things that took place this week that you want to discuss?
I think this week was mostly antitrust. We talked about Apple earlier in the week, talking about the 30% share. That's always controversial. But I think we covered most of everything.
I will leave one little last parting thing. I thought it was entertaining listening to Mark Zuckerberg talk about copying features from other apps. I'll leave it at that. I don't know if it's right or wrong to do that, but entertaining nonetheless, listening to him trying to justify and discuss that. So that being said, I think we'll bid adieu to everybody. If you get a chance, our Labs live episode from Wednesday is available. I think Elise will probably add a comment or a post after this one goes out on YouTube and LinkedIn to be able to watch that. It was talking all about QA with Katrina and John from Detroit Labs. It was a great episode. I think we learned a lot about the integrated and agile QA process, which I think was fantastic, especially because I think most people's view of QA is throw it over the wall and,
hope it works.
Yeah, exactly. And we know how valuable QA is as part of the upfront process and then throughout the entire project. And it's good not just for services, but it's also really great for product owners to watch that too, inside of other bigger companies. So that said, Toby, you have a fantastic weekend to everybody else, and then
You too.
I think we're going to sign off, my man.
All right. Have a great weekend.
All right, talk to you later.
You too.